Good evening, and welcome to this, the second of three productions of Dear Mr. President, Sincerely We. It's already been 6 months since our One Act Festival in May, so this is the second production that Thomas Edison High School Theater has produced fully online, and this one is a little different than the last one. We have a really exciting theater season ahead this year with exciting new challenges and new beauty. And in a minute, you're going to hear and see the fruits of our labor of this first production of the year when we'll press play on the short film called Dear Mr. President, Sincerely We. Before we do that, I want to acknowledge that as we have found through yet another set of tragic and unprecedented events over the last few days, we live in a volatile time when caring for one another and listening to each other proves its value every single day. Luckily for all of us, this play gives us a wonderful opportunity to sit back and listen to the voices of our friends, our kids, our students, and our neighbors. So just to listen. Before we begin the show today, I want to make three brief shout outs. One, first and foremost, to our dear friends at Project Success. When I began at Edison High School about 10 years ago and we started making theater here, I've been long friends with Project Success. But Project Success and Thomas Edison High School Theater had never collaborated before. And this summer, we connected a little bit about what this collaboration might be in these strange times for theater. And our good friends, Rose and Katie, with the help of Laura at Project Success, have just been really wonderful partners in all of this. And so been grateful to have worked with them and looking forward to all the different ways that we can continue to connect together with that great organization for many years to come. Secondly, I want to shout out Mr. Carl Reinhardt, a dear friend and another collaborator that has been with the theater program for a long, long time. And this is yet another way that we have stretched Mr. Reinhardt and the wonderful tech crew of Edison High School as we continue to try to do new crazy things under these circumstances. And Mr. Reinhardt has done a great job. And thirdly, to thank and to introduce Nora Montañez Patterson, who was the director of this great show. You'll hear from her in just a moment, and she will also be facilitating a short discussion with some of our student artists right after the show. Lastly, I'll say that your ticket tonight is free, but we would love it if you would give a sort of pay what you can donation. At edisonactivitycouncil.com, you can click donate and then just mention theater anywhere in your memo line, and that would benefit the Thomas Edison High School Theater very much. So thank you so much for being here tonight, and enjoy the show. Here's Dear Mr. President, Sincerely We.
Hello, my name is Nora Montañez Patterson, and I'm the director to Dear Mr. President, Sincerely We. Today you will see 5 Thomas Edison performing artists create a piece that illuminates how our current society and the last 4 years have shaped them, supported by Thomas Edison video editors who have worked collaboratively to create the piece that you're about to see tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight, and wherever you are and wherever we are finding you. We hope that you enjoy the show, and we hope that you join us afterwards for a small talk back with some of the artists and our crew. And now, Dear Mr. President, Sincerely We.
Medica G'date again? I will make America the G'datus.
Great Wall. Mexico, pay for that wall. Mark my words.
More election stuff. Oh, some news.
What?
This can't be happening. It can't. My phone! Oh my god, election news. You won. Suck it, Trump!
Hi, I'm Maxine. You know, in the past 4 years, I have changed a lot. The world has changed a lot. Things have changed a lot. In 4 years, there are almost 1,460 days. There are almost 35,050 hours in 4 years. 4 years feels like no time, yet so much time. My life has changed. My family has changed. People I am friends with and how I am friends with them has changed. 4 years ago, I was a middle schooler in 6th grade. 6th grade, I was 11 years old. I would wear some leggings that never really matched my t-shirt I wore, with some Converse, preferably black. That's so crazy to me because 6th grade feels like yesterday, but 4 years sounds like forever. Other than how long 4 years ago is, 4 years ago, a president was elected. That president has let people's hatred run rampant. The sexism, racism, and more things the president has done are disturbing. 4 years there have been laws, changes, and events that have made things so different. The incompetence of a president says so much about our country. How stupid this man and the evil he radiates is disgusting. In the last year even, there has been a global pandemic that has been grueling. People have lost jobs, their sanity, and even lives. How did we allow for a president to not believe in science to wear a mask? Or even global warming? Science, scientists. The things this man has done are despicable, as many presidents in the past, alike America's dark history of harming so many people, we continue to let people in office that harm others. Human beings. This president has let over 250,000 people die. 22 million people have lost their jobs. People have lost safety and security. People have lost loved ones. Kids are isolated from friends in school and were given long days of staring at a screen. The way we do things has entirely changed, yet this man has done nothing. Nothing. He has and never will be good. What about all the children at the border who were put in cages, literal cages, and separated from their families? What about the women this man has assaulted? What about the police brutality of African Americans in this country? What about the school-to-prison pipeline? What about the trans people that have and continue to be killed? As the world is withering, this man is our orange and self-centered president. He is our leader. That doesn't make sense to me. It isn't okay that people think this person is any way good. He said global warming isn't real, as animals continue to go extinct and the ocean becomes more and more polluted. He doesn't care about you or me. He cares about himself. This man is a menace to our country, yet people continue to support him. How you can support a man who does nothing but harm people in and outside of this country, I cannot understand. How you can decide to support a person who should be in jail disturbs me, baffles me. How can you do that? How can we continue to let the world go dark? How can we continue to let people be disturbing? This man should have never been president.
Why are we having all these people from shithole countries coming here?
Our president has always degraded women, and we've always let him.
Oh, Fifi.
my friends. It's me, Mark Meadowlander. No one knows I'm an alien, though, do they? I'm debating racist know-it-all Donald Trump in just a little bit. It's my first debate, so I'm feeling nervous and excited. It should be okay, though, because this guy doesn't know anything about politics. Why would Trump run for president? And why would people re-elect this jock? Anyways, I hope you guys will tune in and watch the debate at 7 p.m. It's pitiful, devastating. Back in the day, it was different than now. In 2009, when Barack Obama was president, everything was great. Everything was grand. Did you understand? We had affordable healthcare. President Obama created a strong economy, and America started to appear more progressive. After Donald Trump was elected, our nation fell apart. We're in the middle of a pandemic that could have been resolved if the necessary precautions were taken at the beginning. There's a need to abolish the issue of systematic racism in America. Marriage equally is once again being debated. Do you really want to re-elect a president who doesn't care about your well-being? Vote for me, because I will make America a safe place. I will love and support you no matter what your culture is, no matter where you're from. Make peace on us. 2020 was a scary year. We lost loved ones, jobs, homes, and our ability to go out and freely socialize. We had wildfires, riots, lockdowns, and many deaths. Those things can't change, but many of them could have been prevented. As your new president, I will make it my mission to focus on the problems, prevent new ones, and help us have a better future.
Right now, a historic moment. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. CNN projects Donald Trump wins the presidency. The business tycoon and TV personality capping his improbable political journey with an astounding upset victory. Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States, defeating Hillary Clinton at a campaign unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why didn't you please win?
And building.
After 4 long, tense days, we've reached a historic moment in this election. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. CNN projects Joseph R. Biden Jr. is elected the 46th president of the United States, winning the White House and denying President Trump a second term.
my god.
Mr. President, congratulations. You won the election, but the job is not over yet. This country has been divided in the past 4 years, so it's your job to unite it. This country has also gone through a lot. Racism, COVID-19, and other stuff. So it's your job to help find a solution and guide the people towards a better future. I wish you good luck, Mr. President. Trump won't lead graciously, but Pence can and should.
Trump rages over the election, ignoring a rampaging virus.
Dear Mr. President, why is it that I open Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, I see reports of massive shooting? The fake news that you call the media is digging their hands for truth. A truth that is very devastating, that a president like you is failing to be a leader who acknowledges our needs seriously. Kids, adults, seniors are getting killed like animals on a hunting day. Why? 'Cause there isn't a gun reform. No, humans are meant to grow and make positive changes in our nation. I'm scared. I'm scared if a person who carries a gun will open the doors of my school and tear many lives apart. Many people are scared, not just me. Many of these massacres should have poked your heart to sit and think of those families who lost their loved ones. Question yourself, what is it that you want to do to prevent many bullets from taking down American lives? You see, fast action was needed from you, Mr. President. But what did you do? Your ass went on to play golf, although you suck? I bet Tiger Woods has a smirk on his face, watching you hold that golf stick with your messed up hair. At the White House, there's beautiful plants and trees. Those plants and trees started off as small, defenseless seeds. Once you tear a sprouting plant apart, it won't regenerate back to its readiness of growth, and it won't develop fruit. Just like humans, once they are gone, they can't resurrect and continue educating themselves for a better world. We can't kill our future generation. You would be destroying our country into flames. Flames that are already destroying acres of land, along with many animal habitats. Water's contaminated. Humanity is being contaminated by racial divisions, violence, and hate. And what did you say?
I think Islam hates us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
How is it possible that one of the richest countries during your presidency, including you, Mr. President,
I'm really rich.
isn't able to provide health care for all? Treat people like people, not like animals locked up in cages. Care for the homeless. Provide resources for our continued education of many generations to come. Support our minority groups. But you do have that urgency for money to be invested on a wall.
We're gonna build the wall, we have no choice.
And complain about giving up money on another matter that is very important to us. Mr. President, you for sure like to say, believe me, a lot.
And believe me, her and Bill had a bad evening, believe me. He still didn't believe me, but believe me, it is, okay?
I guess you are running out of words. If you want us to believe in your words or promises, then you ought to take action and stop bragging about your intelligence.
I know more about drones than anybody. Nobody knows much more about technology, this type of technology, certainly, than I.
Which I doubt that it'd be higher than a dolphin's IQ. Mr. President, if you're not willing to listen to us, together we will unite and get the job done by choosing our next 46th President of the United States of America. That isn't you. We will choose a president who will represent us all with dignity and respect. Good luck on tweeting your butt off, Mr. President. Sincerely, Leonid.
And feels like nothing's really being done by our political leaders to actually enact real change to that.
I understand what needs to be done. I understand only change will happen from the bottom up.
As all of you guys know, at the end of 2019, a virus was taking its form and becoming a global pandemic. Unfortunately, our government wasn't cautious enough to handle this threat effectively. Many of our healthcare workers passed away while saving other people. Not just healthcare workers, but essential workers that provided resources to everyone who was impacted by this pandemic.
Thank you for keeping our communities safe by wearing a mask.
The last 4 years have been really hard on us, whether it comes to COVID, protests and riots, and a lot of other problems. But remember, we can get through this. We can move past this to create a better future.
Vice President-elect, we truly anticipate that this new administration will do a much better job in supporting our hospitals, our schools, and have those new vaccines distributed for all minorities and patients in the U.S. Also, we anticipate that they will work with experts to deal with environmental issues, inequality, racial injustices, and many more other issues.
I have hope for a better U.S. and for a better world, where people are treated as human beings.
We can get through this pandemic if we all follow these rules, stay positive that things will get better. There's a bright future ahead.
We need hope. We need resilience. We need grit. We can't stop fighting for what is right.
This being said, I want to thank everyone out there who helped us in a lot of ways. Thank you for your service.
And I also want to thank all the doctors who have worked so hard for us. We appreciate you.
I have hope that even with downfalls, that we can continue to pick ourselves back up again. So keep standing up and keep fighting for what is right. Don't ever stop getting back up.
Cheer up, we got this.
Good evening. Thank you for being with us today. What a joy it was to see that with you all. Very excited to have you at the talkback portion. As you can see, we have Shruti here with us and Svetlana. Really soon, we're going to have them introduce themselves. But first, I want to say I'm Nora Montañez Patterson. I'm the director to Dear Mr. President, Sincerely We. And I want to thank Thomas Edison High School students and artists, as well as Project Success. And very just overwhelmed by what just we just saw today. Also, if you have any questions during the portion of the conversation, please, by all means, type that into the Facebook, and we will ask the artists that are going to be talking with us today. So, now that being said, would love to hear from you both. If you can introduce yourself, say your name, and also what grade you're in.
I can go first. My name is Svetlana Green, and I'm a junior.
And what did you do, Svetlana, also?
I was an editor, and I made Maxine Allman's portions of the project, and I also wrote the end credits.
Oh, thank you, Svetlana.
Hi, I'm Shruti. I'm a senior, and I tried to do a mini short film.
I think you succeeded, Shruti. Wonderful. So here's my would love to start with this question is how am I finding you today after watching what you just saw, our end project?
I think it looks really good, all of them together. To see the final piece, it's really nice to see how the project we worked on for a couple of months turned out.
That's right. Just for a little brief background, we have been working with the artist for the last month now and kind of creating through writing prompts and as well as collaborative work with the editors of what their piece was going to look like. So, yeah, we've been working on this for a little while now. And before even the announcement of the election. So that really kind of took us under a little bit. So very exciting. All right.
I'm feeling really grateful, actually. Me and my partner were able to like communicate pretty effectively to do the project, and I'm kind of just grateful that we had the opportunity to create something in times of COVID and everything.
Yeah, definitely. We had to really work on doing this all through Zoom, which is a completely different way of people working through theater and writing and editing as well is like doing in this little rectangle um, space that we have. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Svetlana. So I want to hear about both of your process. I want to hear about the editing process and the performing process and know a little bit of the background of how you got to create and edit the piece that you did.
For me personally, when I started this, I had a very specific idea. I wanted a short film. I wanted certain words, certain background, some certain music. So I wanted to be as good as it can within this COVID times with a lot of places being closed off and places where I can actually quietly shoot. So after a while, I just decided that I don't need fancy places to just record a video, and like I can just do it near the spaces near me and try to make the best out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think we kind of talked a little bit about where you were talking a little bit about the difficulties of sound and things when it came to shooting some of these places, right?
Yeah, I had certain places in mind, but they were too loud.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But you managed to make those work and like create this very informative and deep, raw piece, which was really nice to watch. Sometimes I think we overthink some things a little bit, right?
Yeah, I tend to overthink a lot.
Yeah. And Svetlana?
So the at least editing process kind of started with Maxine's rough drafts of her speeches. So we kind of just sat down and watched her speeches and commented on like edits or changes that we could do to that. But ultimately, Maxine gave me creative control over editing, and she kind of gave me a deadline, and we were like, okay, so got it done by that deadline, and then we went through the edited portions and segments, and we did some final edits, and that was the final shot. Um, but all in all, we just had like our mutual motivation and communication were really like the key to the making our product.
That's awesome. I'm really interested to hear about the fact that Maxine just gave you the reins on that, and you just took it. You just did what you needed to do. You knew, like that is a hard thing to kind of um, balance when it comes to collaboration, right? Like who has how do you balance who has the reins and you know?
Maxine and I like knew each other from last year from theater, so we kind of already like um, she and I've also edited previously. I edit for our Edison Tommy Student Network, so I think that there was like trust in the um, partnership that I would like know what she wants.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something that we all as adults need to remember is that collaborative work is so important when it comes to any type of communication, any type of art, any type of the work that we do is really important. Thank you, Svetlana. So we do have a question on Facebook. So the question is, if the change we want to see is from the ground up, I wonder what you think are some important practical things for you and others to be doing at this time. So I can repeat that again. If the if the change we want to see is from the ground up, I wonder what you think are some important practical things for you and others to be doing at this time. So what would be some of the things that we need to do if we're thinking that we need to start from the ground up to like yeah.
I think we need to be more outspoken and, confront the things in front of us. I'm not very good at answering questions, but I just feel like the more we talk back, the more we have control over what's happening. And I think that's a very good starting point when you
Yeah,
want to accomplish something.
Shruti, I think that's great. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't believe that you I know sometimes when we get really like questions off the bat, it like kind of helps us, but I think you answer that exactly true to you, like, right? How how you believe that things need to be shaped around what's happening in our world right now. Thank you. Svetlana, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think especially in a post 2020 world, that like youth voice really needs to like be heard, and I think that the leading generation should really hear the voices of the people that will be leading eventually, and kind of just um, have the opportunity to. And I think youth should have the opportunity to like uh, have a vote on like major decisions that especially directly affect them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just because you can't vote right now does not mean that this doesn't affect, right? Absolutely. So, one last question, unless we have another question from Facebook, but, um, and we kind of touched a little bit about this. Why is this work important right now?
For me, I personally think it's important to show the student voices. because I feel like personally we don't have enough student voices to show about how we feel. And I feel like our perspective should be shown to people so that they can understand what we want and what we want our future to be like.
To add on to Shruti, I think that like if people can hear like the opinions and voices of the youth or like teenagers, then our society would really have a chance to change.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest in a time that it's a pretty scary time right now with what has recently happened and how to process all this, right? It's a very complicated situation with many different ways of interpreting. Um, and yeah, how do we manage in the time that we're in? But I really appreciate you both taking the time from your school, from doing all the things that you're doing to have a conversation with us. And thank you for participating in this. And I'm just overwhelmed by this conversation. So thank you. All right, friends. Have a wonderful night. Thank you very much for joining us. We will have one more showing tomorrow at 7 p.m. So join us on Facebook on the page, and we hope to see you then.